Hi there, this is Kevin from RogueDeckBuilder.com here with Game 1 with Burning Vengeance. I am on the draw here, and this is a great hand. We've got our Is It Guildgate that we can play tapped first turn, unless he's playing something like Zombies or Celestia Aggro where we need to get rid of a mana dork first turn. Or we can go the mountain route with the Sulphur Falls. I do like the Is It Guildgates in this deck. It helps fix our mana, and a lot of times we can easily lead off with an Is It Guildgate and play tapped, or even second turn we don't need a second mana. Think twice is we don't have to cast them immediately. We don't have to cast our Goblin Electromancers immediately. Those are only 2 drops. So, yeah, Is It Guildgate is a definite include to help fix our mana base. This deck has great mana. Anyhow, let's get it started. So I'm playing an Esper Control build here, which is a very popular deck right now. It's good against like Band Control. It's good against the UW Flash as well. It's got favorable matchups versus a lot of decks out there right now because it is very resilient and still has that control aspect that Bant has and UW Flash has. So now we can, both our Sulphur Falls here can come into play untapped here. Got our Gutter Snipe. So we'll just pretend like we have counterspells here, so he has to play around them. Actually, move some counterspells over the main board. They're all in the sideboard right now in this game. But we're able to make him still play around them, and we're playing around his counterspells here. So getting good card advantage here. That's why we have to waste a Pillar Flame on him, because we had 8 cards. So, yep, we'll continue to think twice. For that Thought Scour hits some great targets there. It hits another think twice. So we're in very good shape here. Love to see that Thought Flare. Thought Flare is amazing versus these control matchups. Fills our hand back up and gives us the cards we need. Lingering Souls is fine here. We're not in any threat of taking any significant damage for a while, so we will go ahead and cast a Thought Flare here at the end of the turn. If he counters it, then we're free to cast anything. If not, we get great card advantage. So throw some lands in the bin there that we didn't need. And I will throw out a Gutter Snipe. He can only counter one of them here, so I'll bait him with the Gutter Snipe. And he does dissipate it, so we have a free casting Burning Vengeance. So now we're in very good shape with, we have 2 Think Twices in the bin, and we have a Snapcaster that we could Thought Scour or Pillar or anything that we decide to do. So we're in very good shape here. Didn't like to see that Sorin, but with the Burning Vengeance and the card advantage that we have here, we're in very good shape. That Burning Vengeance basically seals the deal here because I know that he could have a negate, but we can play around a syncopate and he can't dissipate here. So I'll throw out the Goblin Electromancer, throw out a Burning Vengeance, and now we can Searing Spear for 1, or I just decided to flashback, think twice for 2, and take out that Sorin. So Desperate Ravings is amazing to see here. We are basically dead if he does draw a Detention Sphere, but with 3 cards in hand, we're looking pretty good. And he does decide to Sphinx of Revelation to try to fill up his land, to play around counterspells that we didn't have because we were tapped out. And now he has 6 cards, and we have 6 cards, but we have some amazing targets here. So I'm able to think twice, flashback the think twice, kill off a vampire, and to do 2 damage to here, and therefore if he wants to block my Goblin Electromancer, it lives. But he chooses not to. And I've just got a million things I could do here, but I decided just to pass it back to him and do it at the end of his turn. I don't know if that's right. Maybe I should have done some things while he was tapped out. Another Sorin comes down, and this is probably a mistake on his part to -2 him. I don't know if he's trying to race me here or what, but yeah, I'm going to get out of hand here with the Burning Vengeance, especially now that he's tapped out and I got free range to cast whatever the hell I want. And a turn here, I can just go nuts. So I will with the Searing Spear him, and then, yeah, we'll flash it back. And the Goblin Necromancer is very efficient here, being able to cast the Searing Spear twice for 2 mana and the Snapcaster, so we still have plenty of mana even left here. And he's down to 8, and we're able to Desperate Ravings and set up our hand. So throw out that island here, throw out a gutter snipe, and that's game with the gutter snipe. So we'll loot, flashback the faithless looting, or the desperate ravings actually, and that's game right there. So that's basically how this deck goes. It's very consistent, very efficient. I believe it does have great matchups right now. I haven't had a test versus UW Flash, but it seems like this deck might have the edge over UW Flash. It holds its own pretty well against zombies, just with the Pillar Flames and the Searing Spears, and putting some decent threats out there with, especially when the Augur Bowls comes in, we can block until we set up our hand. But Burning Vengeance can then kill anything that comes out from zombies, and we can just grind them out. Celestia Aggro is the same thing. We can eventually grind them out. Haven't played against the Crater of Behemoth deck. I know that's very popular right now, but the problem with that being popular is the hate is actually very good hate against us as well. As you'll see in the next day, a Tormod's Crypt comes out, but we're able to play around it pretty well. Anyway, that's game number 1. We'll go on to game number 2 here. And once again, we're on the draw. This is a fine hand. It's a 2-land hand, but we're able to draw that island, which is awesome because now the Izzet Guildgate can come into play tapped. We can play an island the next turn, and the Sulphur Falls can come into play untapped. And now we have the counterspells in our hand, so if he thinks that we were a non-counterspell deck, he won't be playing around them this time, and we have 2 of them in our hand. So I do like to see that think twice. Now there's some action at the end of turn. I'm not going to Faithless Loot here. I like all the cards in my hand, so I don't want to ditch anything. So we'll Desperate Ravings at the turn, and we hit our Think Twice, which is awesome. So Think Twice goes in the bin, and the Desperate Ravings does not find us a land, but we're able to draw into a land. Now we got Rewind up, and the Rewind's awesome with this deck because now we can rewind anything and end a turn, flashback a Desperate Ravings or Think Twice. So he mills me here, gives me more fuel for the fire. I don't know if that's the right decision, but I guess he's trying to decide whether he wants to try to kill me by mill. But yeah, I really still don't think that's a good idea because we're able to have all this fuel. He gave us another Think Twice in the bin. So here we go. We will rewind this Jace. And so now at the end of turn we can flashback Desperate Ravings, and it does get rid of an island we don't need, so that was good. And now we have free reign to do whatever we want here. So I'll throw out a Burning Vengeance, and an Electromancer. And I didn't think I see a Terminus here. I don't know why. I didn't see those first games. I don't know if he decided in Terminus, but he's never going to get more than 1 creature out of a Terminus, especially now that I see he's got Terminus and Supreme Verdict, so I'm not going to play more than 1 creature. So they're really inefficient cards. I don't mind losing a Goblin Electromancer here. It doesn't do much. I guess it can. We can't abuse it like crazy if you didn't have an answer for it, but we have plenty of lands to play basically all of our spells in our graveyard. I don't like to see that Tormod's Crypt, but the good thing is that in response to those Tormod's Crypts, we can think twice. So it's not that big of a deal. And he decides to Drown Yard me again, but not a big deal. I could syncopate this Detention Sphere here. I could just let it go because I have another Burning Vengeance in our hand, and I do decide that I'll save the Syncopate for a better target and just let it hit our Burning Vengeance. So we will flashback our Think Twices here so we can get some value out of that Burning Vengeance and get all of our flashbacks out of the graveyard for the Tormod's Crypt. Snapcaster, we need to bait that Tormod's Crypt out, but we're able to cast that Burning Vengeance free of any counter spells. No negate in his hand apparently, and we'll cast a Gutter Snipe here. And we will loot. And we're in good shape here. He's down to 14. He doesn't have an answer for this Gutter Snipe, which he does have a Supreme Verdict, but if he didn't, eventually we could go crazy. Love to see that Desolate Lighthouse. Such a great, underrated card right now. Once again, the Electromancer comes out, and I will Faithless Looting, flashback, and get rid of some unnecessary lands. So another Supreme Verdict. Once again, they're 1 for 1, so he's not getting a lot of value out of those. And we're able to get rid of it. Izzet Guildgate with our Desolate Lighthouse. Now we got 2 Desolate Lighthouse, so we're in the driver's seat here. So I'll think twice and ship it back to him. Hopefully we'll play something we can syncopate. And a turn I'll think twice. Hit him for another 2. Able to just grind these decks out. So Sphinx's Revelation for 3 comes, and yeah, we got great syncopate here. So I decided that he's at 10. I might as well cast a Snapcaster Mage just for the flash to wheedle him down. So we'll do that. And smack him for 2. And throw out a Faithless Looting. And I don't know why he respawns first with the Tormod's Crypt, because we had absolutely nothing in our graveyard that could actually flash back. But now we'll be able to flash back the Faithless Looting. So we'll do that. Hit him for another 2. And I think twice goes the graveyard, so we can Searing Spear and think twice. And for some reason I think he thinks he's dead, but he's at 1, and he could easily come back with the Sphinx's Revelation for 4 here, say. But I think I did do draw a card on here, and my next card was a Desperate Raving, so even his conceding was it wouldn't have mattered. But yeah, he wasn't dead. Never concede a game when you're not dead. I've come back from worse scenarios than this. Anyway, nice guy. He was complimenting my deck the entire time. I don't know how I feel about this Burning Vengeance deck. It's fun, we'll put it that way, and it's something that no one's really running right now. I have seen a couple other Burning Vengeance decks, like 4-color Burning Vengeance decks. A lot of them like to use Feeling of Dread, and Feeling of Dread is awesome, awesome, awesome against the aggro decks, and even like Creative Behemoth decks. You can just lock them down for so long. But I hated putting in that white for just Feeling of Dread. If I wanted to play white, I'd want to play Lingering Souls. If I want to play Lingering Souls, then I'd of course have black, and I'd want to play like maybe Bump in the Night or Forbidden Alchemy. And if I'm doing that, I might as well go back to my Epic Experiment deck with Battle Hymns to battle him into Passive Flames into a gazillion flashbacks. So this was a different direction than the Epic Experiment deck. Kind of the same playstyle. I like this playstyle. This is red-blue is one of my favorite color combinations. Back in the day, I used to run a Wild Research deck that was probably, if not my favorite, one of my favorite decks I've ever built. And so I'm happy to have a sort of similar deck to the Wild Research back that is competitive. Anywho, this is Kevin from RogueDeckBuilder.com. Thanks for watching.